Hello, everybody. Or I guess I should say welcome back, folks, because that's my, that's the thing that I say, but welcome back, folks. Today we're going to be playing some Breath of the Wild. This is continuing from the last Breath of the Wild stream I had. You don't need to watch it unless you care about how on earth I got the Master Sword with 3 hearts. But there are also significantly better videos out there on the internet that explain that glitch, but yeah. Hello everybody, hope that you're having a good time. I am thinking that I'll do at least one shrine here before I leave. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to come back to the Korok Forest when you don't fast travel. But hey there. Let me just double check that things haven't broken on my end, because my streaming setup is held together with duct tape and glue. Yeah, it looks good. So yeah, just gotta get some of the Korok trials. Did they give me a quest? Oh, he doesn't want to give me the quest because I don't have the sword. Because I can't cap the sword because I don't have enough parts. So I guess we're not doing that. That shrine. So let's just get out of here. And also, this is kind of fun. Because I don't know how many people are actually aware that there is actually a way to leave the Korok Forest without fast traveling. And without going back through the maze. You just, yeah. Just come to this tree's mouth. And then it'll eat you. Well, it says that it won't eat you, but it eats you. So, yeah, this is technically not fast traveling. Shish. Definitely not fast traveling. Don't question it. I don't dissolve into light, therefore it's okay. Now, where on earth would I actually leave my horse out here? Oh, well. It doesn't count if I'm not the one fast traveling. So let's, I guess, let's go and talk to Impa. Now that I have the Master Sword. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes that it took me to get that, but yeah, this is a, in case you weren't aware, in this playthrough, I'm planning on trying to get every memory in chronological order, and free every divine beast, and that's pretty much the only goals that I have. Because I like having goals whenever I'm playing this game, because I've played it enough that I need to have goals to not get bored or distracted. So, that's fun. Yeah, so let's go and get the camera rune, which is talk to Imp, go to Hatano, talk to Pi. Not Aya, jeez. God, what is her name? Just so in case you didn't know, I am utterly horrific with names. Whether those be, you know, silly fictional names like Breath of the Wild stuff or Pathfinder stuff, I'm just horrible with them. Or, you know what, let's get that shrine. I might as well actually get some spirit orbs. But, yeah, I'm just bad with all names. Really just proper nouns. They don't stick, so that's fun. But, yeah, just, I'm not looking to have this be like a super uptight stream. This is more of, I want to talk about stuff about Pathfinder, and I need to have something to do with my hands, or otherwise I get distracted. So Breath of the Wild is one of those games for me where I just play with it on. So, oh, is it this shrine? Oh, why did I agree to do this shrine? I hate this shrine. Because I am very bad at remembering actually... do I have... a spear. No fun. I think that there's a sledgehammer in this, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, well, oh, I have a tiny inventory right now, don't I? Jeez, yeah. Don't need a torch right now because I got through 4 rocks. Yep, so let's wing this, I guess. Because I have no memory of how much I actually have to hit this. I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Chloe? I think it's like that maybe, and then... Oh, well, maybe 1 or 2 less hits. Yeah, but I'm doing fine. I haven't slept well, but that's been the norm for like the past 2 weeks. But not much I can do about it. Probably like I think maybe that. Oh, nope. Nope. At least I'm not wasting arrows. Yeah. I have spent a honestly kind of embarrassing amount of time thinking about how I would get a Pathfinder character that plays like Link. And when I say an embarrassing amount of time, it's important to clarify what Link I'm talking about. Like, are we talking about Breath of the Wild Link, Link in general, Skyward Sword Link, or like basically which game? Are we talking about 3D versus 2D? Despite the fact that I've only ever actually played one Zelda game. But I have ideas, and I'm probably going to talk about those soon, just because, hey, ranting about character concepts is fun, especially ones I'll never be able to play. Yeah. And I'm happy to help you stop dying of boredom. That is part of the reason why I'm currently streaming myself. But yeah, I think that the way that I would play or build Link, Breath of the Wild Link in particular, first off, whenever I think about like or theorycraft a build for any kind of video game character, yeah, I think that in general, like, as a general character across the franchise, Link is definitely like a switch between a bunch of different items, pull out a bunch of random stuff, like, pick out the exact item for the job, which, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, you might be able to make Thaumaturge work for, like, a general Link concept of pulling out the exact item to attack an enemy's weak spot sort of character. But for Breath of the Wild in particular, I would actually argue against that, because Link in this game just kind of beats the shit out of people. Yeah, he'll pull out some weird, stupid stuff, but, he mostly just hits people with sticks. Yeah, he definitely has quick draw. So, I guess it's something where, like, Link is in so many different games that you kind of have to pick a particular iteration of Link to try and convert. So, like, for example, I would argue that Breath of the Wild Link for a core class, or not like a core class, but for a main class, for a Flurry Ranger. Also, dang, Valorous is slow, because yes, I did name my horse after Valorous, but I would argue that he's a Flurry Ranger because Flurry, oh, what is it? Flurry Rush, that's its name. I'm forgetting things. Yeah, I could either see for archetypes for Breath of the Wild Link, I could see Weapon Improviser just for breaking weaponry. That's pretty much the only reason why I would want it. and also the idea of like playing as a character who's an amnesiac, who doesn't actually have any proficiency with any weaponry, and it's like, oh, but you don't have anything to use for your improvised, or your weapon improviser abilities, and then just say, well, no, I'm going to be using my sword, but I don't know how to use the sword, so I'm just gonna bash people with it, and then use it as an improvised weapon. That just sounds really funny to me. Probably not very good. Oh, I forgot. I'm early enough in the game that, the Zora are gonna react to me. But this is the first time I think I've ever talked to this Zora. Normally don't come from this direction. But there are a lot of other archetypes that you could definitely make work, for Link. If you're just looking for he has a very fancy sword, that breaks a lot and then comes back to him, you could go for a Soul Forger. Yes, I am in fact a Hylian. Have you never seen a Hylian before? I know that there's, for a fact, Hylians inside of, inside of your city. I'm just trying to think of what else did I think about. For Breath of the Wild in particular, yep, I will be coming for Sidon eventually. But I think that just to capture the vibe of Breath of the Wild, really just going for the vibe here, this isn't necessarily like a game mechanic thing, is that I feel like you could really make Horizon Walker work for Breath of the Wild Link. Also, yeah, yeah, I feel like the whole, like, Magitech thing that Breath of the Wild have going on, like, okay, maybe I should say, the Sheikah Slate, I feel, is not something that I would try and replicate in a character build, and instead say, hey, GM, can you drop just a bunch of alchemical bombs? And say that that's how you're going to be representing that set of the character. Because if you really do want to say, like, okay, well, if we want to represent, like, all of the runes, okay, so you gotta take, like, a spellcasting dedication or class or something to be able to get, like, telekinetic abilities for magnesis and stasis, and then maybe an alchemist to be able to get this many bombs readily available. But instead, I would prefer to just hand wave that and say, that's loot. That's not a part of the character. And I just like Horizon Walker because, yeah, Link happily goes in between, like, all kinds of environments in the game and can survive in pretty much all of them, and that's weird. Class ability. And also, especially once you take into consideration how, I am... Ah. But, also, like, another thing whenever you're taking a character from a pre-existing piece of media and then trying to make a Pathfinder character out of them, which, by the way, is how I come up with, like, 90% of my, character concepts. Because I am very original, and I, ruthlessly will steal everything that I like. Is you have to figure out, like, what kind of level are we talking about here for these characters? And Link is, like, level 16 in this game. He's stupid. Yeah, and 2D Link is definitely a thaumaturge. I would actually argue that a lot of the 3D Links you could play as thaumaturges. Like, I could see Ocarina of Time Link as a thaumaturge. Because, again, it's like, oh, you find the key item in a dungeon, and then you use that key item to ruthlessly exploit every enemy in the dungeon's weak spots. That just screams, like, exploit vulnerability. But rather than coming up with basically flavoring it as you have a huge collection of weird shit in your pockets at all times. So it's not like, oh, well, I don't know, so rather than flavoring it as like, oh, well, I'm fighting a devil or something, so I pull up silver shavings and put them on my weapon, and therefore I am more effective. It's, I'm fending a crab and I pull out a grapple hook with my other hand and then pull it onto its back so I can target its weakness. Just instead of like a hook shot or something. I would actually argue that definitely the out of all of the links, that probably let's see, what am I trying to say here? Skyward Sword Link is probably a soul forger because he has the strongest connection, like, narratively to the Master Sword, and hell, you could almost say that like every Link is almost required to take the Soul Forger dedication at some point just to get the Master Sword, because there's a whole bit in the Soul Forger of like you pass down, you can pass down your Soul Forged implement to other people to continue on your legacy and connection. Yeah, Twilight Princess is probably like a fighter, but I would argue a fighter, probably a fighter with the Beast Morph? Is it Beast Morph or Beastkin? It's the rare heritage. Beastkin heritage. Either the Beastkin heritage or Twilight Princess, not Twilight Forest. Twilight Forest Link. Twilight Princess Link. Multi-classes into Wild Order Druid to get Wild Shape. So you can like just flavor, okay, well, yeah, the pest form I get from Wild Shape, that is just a very small wolf. Until eventually you can actually turn into a wolf. Because I feel like that's the core element of the character that you have to focus on. Yeah, like, you have to focus on like empathy somehow, because that's like the thing from his game. So you could just, you know, talk with your GM and then just play, actually come in as like a lycanthrope. But yeah, that would be hard to work around. But also, depending on how you want to put it, I feel like almost every single Link is required to get a to get access to a familiar, because like you know that Ocarina of Time Link as a thaumaturge has to take the you've got to take the, what am I talking about, the familiar thaumaturge feat. So it's like, okay, you gotta have a Navi. And what class is Midna? Probably Witch. I'm not as familiar with what Midna does in Twilight Princess because I have never played Twilight Princess, but I would probably say Witch for general spellcasting capabilities and prehensile hair. But you could also, which would kind of cheapen the character, say that Midna is a familiar, but that doesn't feel right. Now, Navi is 100% a familiar. And Fi is also 100% a familiar. Just Fi is a very fancy familiar. Yeah, no, like, honestly, I've really considered going through and playing the other 3D Zeldas, but honestly, I just don't have a huge amount of time. So, really, Breath of the Wild is the only one I've played, and I've also played it, like, I think this is the 4th or 5th time? Yes, if we were talking about 1E, then, pretty much, well, no. If we were talking about 1E Pathfinder, because I've spent more time thinking about how to build Link in other video game characters and media characters and 1E that I have about 2E. Skyward Sword Link is 100% a steelbound fighter, which is a fighter archetype that gave you an intelligent weapon that's been passed down to your family through generations. That could cast spells for you, and that is totally what Skyward Sword Link is. And I'm just now remembering that you guys are actually hearing the cutscene. I am not. Yes, you are much older, Impa. You're very old. Seriously, how the hell are you still alive, Impa? I might skip the cutscene, because this game has been out for like 5 years. But, and also I don't feel like I want to talk during it. Yeah, the problem is there aren't any ways in 2E to currently get an intelligent item easily, which that is what you need if you're going to be playing Skyward Sword Link. Yeah, Zelda is 1v1ing Ganon for the past 100 years. She really needs to increase her DPR. Let's see, do I have the Divine Beast class yet? Or... Okay. Okay. I can never remember exactly what to do here because I've only done this a couple of times and it's not exactly the most memorable part of the game. Like, exactly how many times do you have to talk to Impa?
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages. This evil has been turned back time and time
Yeah,
by a
the Blackblade
warrior
archetype would be pretty good,
wielding the
but
soul of a hero and a princess who
but you don't do a lot of
carries the
like
blood
spell
the
casting or
gods.
spell casting adjacent stuff in Skyward Sword.
With the passage of time, each conflict with Ganon faded into legend.
Yeah,
So
just
listen closely as I tell you of this legend that occurred 10,000 years ago.
also I feel like every single link is in 1E would be
Hyrule was then
like mandated to
blossomed as a
increase
highly advanced civilization. Even the
yeah,
most
every
powerful
1E
monsters
link would be
posed little
required
threat
to have used
the
magic device
denizens
maxed.
of the realm. The people
What class
thought
would
it
this
wise
be?
to
Huh.
utilize their technological prowess to ensure the safety of the land should Calamity Ganon ever return.
Yeah. That is a good question.
They constructed
I would
four
argue
mechanical wonders that came to
I'm
be
not paying
known
any
as the
remote amount of
divine
attention
beasts.
to this cutscene. I'm just gonna skip it so I can continue talking about how to build the characters. So, I think that you have a good point about pointing out Oracle because she doesn't really choose her powers based on what she has. Probably a Life Oracle, or maybe Loracle, or Time. She clearly has some way of living forever, but oh, that could also be life. But it's either an oracle that takes an inventor dedication, or an inventor who takes an oracle dedication. Because she very clearly does like researching ancient tech and all that, and figures out a lot of stuff about it. So I feel like it's reasonable to say that she would be an inventor somewhere in there, but she also has like insanely powerful divine abilities. Yeah, Wind Waker Zelda is totally a swashbuckler with blessed one. Magic? What the fuck's a magic? I would argue actually that Ocarina of Time Zelda is the most interesting one because
Oh.
Ocarina of Time I think would be one of the more interesting Zeldas to try and stat out because, you know, cheek. And either you would want to stat them out as two entirely separate characters, or you would want to try and represent both. And I would argue you can do both, I think. So, both in the same character. Yes, Impa, I like to imagine that Link just has a completely glazed over face on, just like, yes, I am totally paying attention to you, Impa. Vigilante, yes. That is the core part of Ocarina of Time Zelda's build, is Vigilante. And then taking the, what is it? It's like a double life feat or something that gives you a archetype dedication that represents your social persona, and then from there you take cleric. I just want it to be day. Yeah, like, I've really considered getting Breath of the Wild, or not getting Breath of the Wild, playing Ocarina of Time and all that, but it would either be doing it on a totally legitimate emulator that is definitely not my computer, or it would be on the emulated version that is on the Switch, which I've heard is not very good. Yeah, I really do feel like the yeah, Zelda would definitely be a well, I do not have much stuff. Jesus. I think you would eat. Wait, I think. Yeah. I am forgetting how to speak. Damn. Been a while since that has happened. Yeah. Zelda from Ocarina of Time would be pretty complicated. Because you would either have to focus on either Zelda or Sheik, and then the other side would then suffer for it. It's hard to keep that as an even balance, but well, I just want to buy some armor. You don't have to explain everything to me. Yeah, and yeah, I wish that there was a way that you could get medium armor proficiency on a 2E kineticist. That would just be convenient. And let's get the Hylian armor because it looks nice. And then any stealth armor that 700, 500. Well, I can basically afford none of it. So let's strip naked in the middle of the town to switch clothes, and we are good. Let's head over to Hateno so we can get a camera room. Hey, come on. Instant I have enough. Oh, actually, I should do the shrine up there. That's gonna be a piece of cake. Yeah, I feel like you could either build Ganondorf as a Magus. Oh, fun. Fun internet problems, yay. You could either build Ganondorf as a Magus or a Barbarian, depending on the game. Like an animal barbarian to like grow tusks and bite people would be pretty interesting. The fun part about saying like, oh, you can build X character in the Zelda game, or in a Zelda game, is kind of funny because it's like, there are so many ways that you can build every single character. Because there's so many different iterations of each. Is that seriously the second shield I've ever picked up? Damn. Yeah, honestly, the most representative way to build, Ganondorf isn't actually in 2E, and it is a demon or demonic bloodline blood rager from Wunny. That is the way that you play. Yeah, they all... Okay. They either all have the reincarnate background, except for Link in Breath of the Wild, who has the amnesiac background. Let's not waste good armor on this. I forget, what did he want me to do? Was he wanting me to flurry rush? Okay, I should have read the instructions. Okay, so now it's a backflip. Okay. This is the tutorial shrine. I definitely need the tutorial for this. Come on. I actually need to attack. Yeah, no, the, amnesiac, because the thing about the amnesiac background is it gives the re-ability boost, and that's basically it. So that explains how Link has such a high, dexterity, strength, like, he has both, probably maxed. Or as high as he can. Oh! Ugh. Ugh. Gotta love sneezing. Oh, I think this is a shield block? I'm trying to remember the order in which they tell you to do things. I don't understand why this is the last one. Like, charge attack? People found out how to do this within like 10 seconds of holding a weapon. Yeah, but having 3 ability boosts from being an amnesiac is definitely part of the reason why, Link is so busted in this game. And also probably because, like, red bokoblins are, like, level 1. And Link is, like, level 10 or more. Yeah. I really need to actually remember to, once I get to Hateno, I don't have fire arrows. But once I get to Hateno, I am so improving my stamina. It is painful only having one upgrade to it. And by the time I get there, I think I should have at least 2 upgrades. We might be able to squeeze in 3. Depends on how out of the way I'm willing to go. But yeah, the Link is like, in this game especially, he feels like a dual class character with free archetype. Because god damn is this Link buff. Not literally. There are definitely other Links that are more buff than this Link. However, you can only see someone like backflip off of a cliff, shoot like 16 exploding arrows at someone a couple of times before you think, huh. I did not, like, I had never ever played with stamina points in 1E, although those were a, like, system that I was pretty interested in. I just never got around to it. Honestly, the length of time for which I have played, like, I've played 1E for a longer period of time than I have played 2E. However, I probably have played an equal amount of actual game hours of 2E, if not more 2E than 1E. Because for a very long time, I just couldn't find a consistent online game for 1E, which kind of sucks. But part of that was also because I was like a teenager in high school trying to find a game online, and a lot of, you know, college age or older people don't want to play with a teenager who has no idea what the fuck they're doing, which, fair enough. Now that I'm in the opposite position, I understand. How many Korok seeds do I have? I hope I have enough to actually get some meaningful upgrades in. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of it was just like I don't know. I've gotten a lot more, or rather a lot less, like, nervous over time. So when you're a nervous wreck, it can be a bit annoying to find a good game on Roll20. Okay. Let's just... I actually have a good weapon. That can, like, 3-shot these, I think. So, these only have 72 health, if I'm remembering correctly. But, yes, the leshies. Oh, oh my god. The Koroks are literally just leshies. They even have the intelligence penalty. Yeah, so effectively I've only been in a couple of long-running 1E games. So I don't just have as much experience as I do in 2E, because that's just how life works sometimes. So, like, basically, I didn't have a lot of time to mess around with a lot of the variant rules in 1E. And I literally probably have enough character concepts for 1E that I would like to play to fill up, like, 30 parties by myself. It is, to this day... Oh, I'm bored. I'm just gonna come up with a character concept. Let's pick a class, pick an archetype. Let's build them up to level 10. Yes, I do actually have Korok seeds. My big friend. I can't skip this. Are you gonna ask me to skip this? No way. I think I only have 3 Korok Siege, which really sucks. So I'm just gonna increase each one of my stashes by 1. Because I believe each upgrade is only 1 at first. God damn, does the price inflate over time? Oh, well, I was only able to get 2 in. Also, I haven't been, like, talking about it that much because I'm now recognizing that, like, I don't have a huge platform. I mean, oh, also, what the hell? How did I get to not 400, 800 subscribers? Seriously, what the hell is wrong with you people? But, because I don't want to, like, say, oh, there's a possibility that maybe Paizo will be releasing, I don't know, like, 3 books next year. Or, not 3 books. They release, like, 12 a year. 3 core rulebooks, or just from, like, the main rulebook line. Actually, before we go to Hateno to get the camera rune, let's just grab some easy shrines. Because there's, like, 3 I can grab that are super easy around here. But I do think that it's a possibility that there will be 3 rulebooks next year. I don't think that it's, like, hugely likely. I would imagine that they would have announced it at Gen Con. But... because, if I'm remembering correctly, in some years they have released 3, but that's always been like a, oh, this is the year after the game was released and we need to put out content for it to get attention for the game. Something that I would want to see the most, previously what I wanted to see the most was just something on the Outer Planes, which I doubt that we're going to get now because we're getting a book focusing on the Inner Planes with Rage of the Elements. So I'm just not gonna, I'm going to assume that we're not going to get like a deep dive into like Heaven and Hell and Abaddon and Axis and all that. I would love it, but I'm assuming we're just not going to get it for a while now. Because obviously Rage of the Elements is, I mean, basically, yeah. I feel like that's pretty clear. But my next most wanted thing then or in terms of like what I actually think the game needs the most is unfortunately something that I don't expect to actually show up in a rulebook, which is I would love for like a section of a rulebook to just be, okay, here's 20 or 30 general feats. And then that's all that the book is, or all that that chapter of the book is just a bunch of general and skill feats. That would be fun. But I'm not expecting that to happen. But in terms of themes for books that I would like to see, because I just want more general feats, more skill feats to just fit for a wide range of characters. But that doesn't sell books quite as well as cool, flashy themes. Yeah, like, honestly, what I'm kind of expecting is the way that the books for the Outer Planes were split up. It was split up into like 5 or 6 books, I think. Where there were 3 different books of the Damned focusing on the different realms. So like Hell, Abaddon, and the Abyss. And then there was Concordance of Rivals, which focused on the neutral outsiders. And then I think that there was a version of Book of the Damned for the good. So like celestial creatures, but I'm forgetting what that one was called because that one doesn't come up nearly as much as the Book of the Damned for like plot points. But I just like it. And yeah, general feats have been kind of disappointing because it just feels like everyone is like, well, for my first general feat, I'll take toughness. For my second general feat, I'll take improved initiative. For my third general feat, I'll take fleet. For my next general feat, Kenny acumen. Yeah, like I just want cool shit. Cool shit that the Outer Planes is really cool, and I just love cool, weird planar stuff. So I'm always down to have more cool, weird planar stuff. Yeah, but the other, like, 2 main books that I would want is, Oh, Chronicles of the Righteous, that's what it was called. I knew that there was, like, in the lore, oh, someone wrote a bunch of books talking about outsiders. I just couldn't remember their names, except Book of the Damned and Concordance of Rivals. Because let's be real here, Concordance of Rivals is the better name. Out of those options, Concordance of Rivals is cool as hell. Yeah, outsiders are just so cool. I love outsiders and I want to see more about them. But the books that I'm more expecting, not the ones that I want the most, but the ones I'm expecting the most, would be basically a 2e version of Ultimate Wilderness. I'm not expecting this one for a while now, because primal characters are already going to be getting a lot of stuff with the Rage of the Elements. So I'm just not expecting to get a primal book very soon, but I would love a primal book. Why did I not press that down? I think this is where the climbing, like, bandana is, but I might be forgetting. I might be getting that wrong, but I believe, and okay, I didn't have quite the amount of time that I thought. Yeah, climber's bandana, let's go. And I fell. Yeah, I just want cool like archetypes. There's so much fun stuff that they could do with Outer Plane stuff. And also that means that they would probably be releasing a AP that is associated with Outer Planes stuff, which, hell yeah, my dude, give me a 11 to 23 book campaign dealing with hopping between planes of existence. But what I'm more expecting is, of course, Primal stuff, and I would also like just like a non-magical handbook. For some that class-wise, I would like a kind of a tactician sort of class. Like basically a 4th edition Overlord is what I'm picturing. Or if you would take the martial class, or not the martial class, the martial, take the martial archetype, that's what it's called, and then turn it into a full-size class, I would love that. Hey. Screw you. Okay, yeah, this just isn't worth it. Very sneaky river snail. Yeah, outsider monsters are just the best. One of my favorite parts about playing high level is just seeing all the weird shit that goes on with high level monsters. Yes, I did glitch the Master Sword. I just like having it early. Once you've played the game like 4 or 5 times, you're just like, I don't want to wait. I want my unbreakable sword now. Or, not my unbreakable sword. My sword that is much more resistant to breaking than normal swords. But, so I want like an overlord sort of class that just buffs their allies, keeps them in shape, maybe manipulates their action economy, gives them buffs. I just want to play I want there to be a way to be an entirely non-magical buff machine. And also, I want mass combat rules. So I want, like, how on earth can you involve the party in, like, okay, we've got 2 armies that are fighting each other. Everyone is going to take control and help, like, move around squads and group tactics and all that stuff. I just want to see that stuff. Mass combat's fun. So long as it's done well. Oh, neutral champions would also be a very good reason why Outer Planes book would be really nice. I want cool neutral champions that aren't a pain in the ass to play. Yeah, I just think that would be cool. And then I also think that there should be a divine source book. Or a source book that is a lot more focused on the divine, because I do... Okay. I really, really want to see 3 more classes. Oh, I forgot it was this shrine. Now I actually have to do motion controls on stream. And I believe my next shrine is also going to be motion controls. Oh, let's... I love trying to read chat and then also trying to do this at the same time. And this seems like a perfectly good staircase, don't call OSHA. I'm playing on my Switch. And now this. If I remember correctly... Oh, come on. I've done this shrine too many times. Yeah, but I do want to see a divine source book. But in particular, I want to see new classes that are bounded spellcasters for the other magical traditions. So we have Maguses, Magi, however you want to call them. We have them for being arcane bound spellcasters. I want to see like a divine bound spellcaster, or a primal bound spellcaster, or an occult bound spellcaster. Although I'm not expecting to get an occult bound spellcaster for a very long time because we just got the occult book. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, my top primal class that I want is a shifter, and I don't want them to be spellcasters. Just trying to think, like, I'm also like distracted right now because I'm trying to think of like, okay, what shrines do I want to get on the way to Hatena? What order do I want to get them? Yeah, I would love to see an Inquisitor that is a bound divine spellcaster. Personally, I would actually want to see Judgments. I made a video on this a while back, but a month or two ago, I think. Time is a construct that I don't understand or really pay attention to. Okay, I miss Shifter, and I also want to see Shifter get what it deserves, which is a bit more of a comprehensive class. I also missed 1E. Everything that I feel about the 1E Shifter is multiplied tenfold for the 1E Ooze Morph. Because goddamn, that has so much fun RP, and it's so bad. And I just saw what you posted, Chloe, and yeah, we're on the exact same wavelength. I desperately at one point what does like ask a GM, hey, can I play like a 40 point by character that is an Ooze Morph Shifter, meaning I'm still going to be below in effectiveness other party members, despite the fact that I'm playing have a 40.5. Also, I'm regretting not grabbing flame arrows, because there's a very easy shrine that I could get if I had them. I guess oh, but rain. Oh, I hadn't thought about sitting in a metal box. I was mainly thinking of, like, for my 40 point buy, for my 40 point buy, Ooze Morph, it'd be like, you take one level in Monk, or Unchained Monk, obviously, and then everything else into shifters. You can get Wisdom to AC, and then it's like 40 point buy, so you can max out your Dexterity and Wisdom. And then to play like an Undyne or something, so you get the bonus to Dex and Wiz. It wouldn't be good. It would be very bad. But it would be funny. It would be a very fun character for like a one-shot, so you don't have to deal with actually playing them for an extended period of time. Oh, yeah, but I was talking about my idea for the Inquisitor. But my idea for the Inquisitor is obviously a divine bounded spellcaster. But I was picturing... Is there a bed in here? Yeah. So I was imagining a divine bound spellcaster that gets a series of focus spells that they can then use, and they're all reactions. All of these, let's call them judgment focus spells, are reactions that it's like, oh, someone attacks an ally or a friend of mine. So then I judge that character for doing it, and they're basically stances that you enter as a reaction based on enemy actions. So, oh, they attacked an ally or myself, I'm going to then buff myself to deal more damage towards them, that kind of stuff. What I think would be a really interesting way to do the Inquisitor. Would it be good? I don't know, I'm not a game designer. Please, do I have wood? Yeah, I do. And yeah, Shifter is really cool, and Animal Instinct Barbarian does not remotely cover it, and neither does Wild Order Druid, because all I want is the ability to turn into one specific creature that you can modify the fuck out of. I'm hoping to make it that so that I am just very good at predicting things, because I think it was a video called like, yeah, focus stance is funny. Because like the book already has a couple of stances that you have to enter using a focus point, but they are you get them at like level 8. I just want to focus an entire class around the concept. Also, yes, I basically do have every single shrine on the map and its location and how to get into it memorized. I don't have a problem. I think it'd be cool. And my idea for the Shifter is basically just a martial character. They're not a primal bound spellcaster. You might be able to make Shaman work for a bound spellcaster, actually. And then have a bunch of cool spirit stuff based on skills. That might be too heretical, though. Ow, did I just get run over? Yeah, I did. I hate this shrine. This shrine is just boring. Once you know how it works, it's just waiting. And if I remember correctly, it is not really worth trying to get. But my idea for the, or to get the chest that's down there, it just takes a long time. But the Shifter, my idea was that the Shifter could be a martial that then shifts into one particular form that you choose. You get different abilities based on what you like. Basically, you could choose aspects of different creatures at various levels, and then gives you different bonuses. Basically, imagine how implements work, where there's like an adept benefit, and then like various greater benefits depending on how many times you select a particular implement. But instead, those are modifiers for a Shifter form. Mesmerist, maybe? For Bound Occult, Mesmerist might work, but my problem with that is I believe, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, this might be important. Oh, okay. Pardon me while Link is doing nothing here. Because I am cross-referencing some things, like pulling up the Dark Archive playtest PDF. Okay, so, interesting. So what I was going to say is actually outdated. So, yeah, so this is actually interesting. So in the Psychic playtest, there was a feat called Mesmerizing Gaze. Whenever Paizo was asked about the Mesmerist, whenever the Psychic playtest was announced, they said, well, like you can kind of play kind of as a mesmerist, but whenever you take the mesmerizing gaze feat as a psychic, because it basically was whenever you cast a spell, you can look at a target and then tie your spell casting to eye contact and then like give them a penalty on their saving throw. In addition to some other stuff. But that feat is gone in the final version of the class, which is interesting because that feat was good in the playtest, which makes me wonder if they removed it because they might be internally thinking about making an actual version of the Kineticist. Not Kineticist. Jesus. Of the Mesmerist. And that would be really cool. The only problem that I have kind of with the Kineticist is they've got to find a way to not make them too morally dubious. Because Kineticists kind of just do that. Because Kineticists, or not Kineticists, Mesmerists are. Mind magic is just a weird place, but I would love it. I found the Mesmerist class really interesting in playing. And yeah, a gaze-focused class would be really interesting, although they would have to not be too focused on the gaze, I think. Or at least have the ability to do things without the gaze. Because boy, are there a lot of creatures in Pathfinder without eyes. Although at least if a Mesmerist was focused around their gaze abilities, at least they would join the rogue and not being able to fight against oozes. Like, I love the idea of basically having a stance that you can swap into that is your gaze. So you like shift your facial expression, so it's like you switch your facial expression, so now you have like resting bitch face or something, and now it makes everybody frightened or gives a certain status, like a status effect. That's what I'm trying to say. I just think that'd be funny. Although, if we are going to be getting a Kineticist, it'll be at least a year. Oh, this would be an incredibly stupid way to affect enemies without eyes. Like, really dumb. But it fits with the whole enchantment idea. You guys ready for another motion control shrine? But this is an incredibly dumb idea. But imagine if you would. Imagine you're fighting a person who is blind. So obviously they're not going to be affected by your mental effects. So you have to come up with a way to, if I remember correctly, that's just I think it's a Sheikah bow that zooms in more whenever you shoot. That's in that chest there. Don't really need that. But yeah, so you have to gaze at someone to give an effect, and you're fighting someone who's blind. Well, you're fucked, right? No, you use a spell or an ability or something where they see your eyes anyway as an illusion, so it's an enchantment illusion. So they like visualize your eyes and it applies the effects of your gaze. I'm now actually kind of sold on Divine Bounded being Inquisitor, and then Mesmerist being Occult Bounded. However, I do think that it could be interesting for Medium to be the Occult Bounded spellcaster. I kind of just want Mediums aback. But Shaman, I think, just makes the most sense for a primal spellcaster, or bounded spellcaster. And yeah, that could work, of giving it the auditory instead of visual. That's just a very easy way to give it. Or maybe it would be just it is a mental effect instead of a... No, it would already have the mental trait. What am I talking about? The way that I would like to imagine, the way that I imagine that... How many spirit orbs do I have? I just need one more. Where's the closest shrine? Here. I could go and get that, or... There's, like, no shrines in Hateno. Yeah, well, I feel like it is... The summoner is a sufficient ghost class, so long as the ghost class that you're looking for is the spiritualist. And they also need to release more phantoms. So you can actually just play a spiritualist. Like, I want my hatred phantom back. Or my fear phantom. Those are fun. Give me my sneak attacking phantom and my fear stacking phantom. Oh yeah, but the way that I would imagine that a... yeah, screw it. Let's go and get another piece of the climbing set. Just because I really, really want my... to get 12 spirit orbs. The way that I would personally want a medium to work is I would want it to work similarly to the ancestor spirit or the ancestor curse oracle, wherein also I should really, considering what I'm doing here, put on the climbing gear. But also, Chloe, I was very concerned for a second that nah. But basically, imagine a ancestor oracle, except you can pick the spirit, but then depending on your actions, you have to make will saves or something like that to keep the spirit under control. So then if you fail to keep it under control, you still get the bonuses, but you start taking other penalties instead. So you're fighting for control over your body. Yeah, Ancestor Curse for, like, not necessarily a martial character, but it depends a lot on the... So basically, Ancestor Oracle on a bounded spellcaster makes a lot more sense, I feel, because it's like, oh, you actually have the proficiency to back up switching into a melee roll or a skill roll. Yeah, like, I love the idea. Also, where's the tree? Okay. I love the idea of the Ancestor Oracle, but I just feel like it's not implemented great. Or rather, it's not implemented onto a class that can fully make use of its abilities. Because Oracles just don't have quite the weapon proficiency to back up whenever they roll melee. Or they're going to hyper-focus on melee. Let's just say your ooze comment, for a second I missed the fact that you added that last word. Yeah, like a pseudo-martial is the right way to put it. Where it's like, yeah, I had to approve your ooze comment. Let's just say that. And for a second, I wasn't sure if I should. Am I not gonna make this, Cora? Damn! By like a quarter of a second. Oh. I thought I saw a fairy, it's just sparkles. Also, I should probably go and deal with Nadra at some point. Let's see. Oh, yeah, but I'm just picturing the medium from 1E as functioning like the Ancestor Oracle, but you slot into Um, basically, it's like, you enter, I'm just gonna call it a stance. Or no, let's just call it a seance. So you enter a seance for a particular spirit as an action. So you're like, oh, I want to channel the spirit of a warrior. So then you should start channeling a spirit of the warrior. And then every single round you have to make will saves to decide how much control you have. So it's like, let's make this fun. So while you're channeling the spirit of a warrior, you have, you make a will save every round. On a critical success, you can do whatever you want with your actions. On a success, you must spend one action to strike. On a failure, you must make 2 actions to strike. And on a critical failure, you must make 3 actions to strike or something. So it gives you a pretty, like, crippling debuff. But of course, they would be wisdom-based. They would be a wisdom-based class with really, really good will save progress. Oh, I don't think that Ancestor Oracles are bad, just weird. Like, fully enough, I have also played with someone. How am I actually gonna climb up this cliff now that I think about it? I don't have much stamina. I've actually also played with someone who played a Ancestor Oracle Orc, who had a lot of fun with it until they retired the character because things, didn't make a lot of sense for them to continue with the adventure path. And just backstory stuff, and like, he was a guardsman, and then we were starting to fight crazy outsiders and undead, and we're like, this guy's a normal dude, kind of dude, but like, a dude with a sense of self-preservation. But it was just kind of funny because, like, half the time you just hit people with a great axe anyway and out-damaged all the marshals. Because, big orcs with a great axe will do that to you. I am not doing a very good job of climbing this mountain. So I just like the idea of a class that gets a bunch of power from something, and then for the rest of the fight is fighting for control. And if you really want to add chaos, it's like, oh, you're channeling the spirit of a warrior, and you must hit something. If you cannot reach an enemy, yeah, this is towards Atena. If you can't reach an enemy, well, you gotta hit someone. So then you're forced to attack an ally or something. But of course, you're on a class that has good wisdom and a good will save, so you're not actually all that likely to critically fail or something. Oh, Ghost Orc Oracle, that's so sick. I think I know where I am. Oh yeah, I know where I am. This is where there's a minigame for killing deer. Okay, so now let's go and get a bunch of stamina upgrades, so I don't have to deal with frustratingly trying to climb a cliff as often. And then I guess we'll get the blue flame for Puree. I feel like... So something that I realize whenever I start thinking up of possible class ideas is that I have a much different, much higher tolerance for mechanical bullshit than probably the average 2E player, because I like 1E. So for a second I was like, oh, but wait, what if it was something like you had a duration for how long the spirit would be like around, and succeeding on the will save actually decreased the duration, but failing didn't, because the spirit wants to possess your body. But that seems like that would be a pain in the ass to track, and Tui doesn't like things that are a pain in the ass to track. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe if you... The thing is, like, depending on your saving throw, for, like... I'm just gonna using the warrior spirit here because it is by far the simplest. I think the 3... I'm forgetting the... Oh, come on. Didn't mean to press B there. I believe that the spirits that you could channel in 1E were like Warrior, Hierophant, Trickster, Archmage, that kind of... Or I might be thinking of the mythic paths. But I think that they also share the name with medium spirits. But, like, Warrior's just the simple one. It's, you hit it real good. The important part about the medium, I feel, for any implementation in 2E, is fixing a problem that there was in 1E, which is making it so you don't just always pick the same spirit every day, or for every combat, or every situation. You don't feel like, well, obviously I'm going to pick the warrior spirit, because that's what my character does, is I hit things with sticks. Yeah, 2E Mythic would be very cool. Because 2E already kind of has turned up the dial to 11 on what the hell you're allowed to do that. So 2E Mythic? Ah, shit. The torch is up there. Yeah, I don't even have anything that's flammable. Oh well. I can rant about Pathfinder for a while. So imagine if you were that, depending on your will save that you make at the beginning of all of your turns, versus your choice of a spirit, you have to spend an action doing various things. So, like, making a strike. So, if you choose to not make a strike on that turn, you take a certain amount of mental damage based on how many actions you didn't spend that you were required to. So if you were required to strike twice and you didn't strike at all, then you take, I don't know, 2 times your, or maybe like your level in mental damage. You take half your level with every single action you don't take. It'd just be fun. And yeah, feat names for Mythic would be so fun because, like, they clearly had so much fun with the Kineticist feat names. Like, infinite expanse of bluest sky. They've got to have fun with that. Wait, is there not a torch here? I thought there was a torch here. I feel like every single time I play this game, I have the exact same problem. Am I about to have to do this? Torchless. Maybe. I can only think of a couple places with torches is the thing. And they're all really far away and I'm not fast traveling. So... torchless it is. Let's get a stick. Nope. No stick. Okay. I have my wannabe torch. Usurp the Lunar Way. Yeah, no. Usurp the Lunar Reigns is definitely one of the coolest feat names that is very underwhelming. Although something that I will point out that some other people have indicated is that Usurp Lunar Reigns has 3 functions. One of them is you raise or lower water by 10 feet. Another one is you create water. And the other one is, I believe, you roil water or calm water. But the thing is, only the calming and roiling part. Come on. That will flame. I think I have a minute before the stick breaks. But the thing is, you only have to sustain it to continue the effects of the changing the how much difficult terrain water provides. You don't have to sustain it to change the creating pillars of water by raising and lowering water levels in a 10-foot area. Or I think it's a 20-foot burst by raising it by 10 feet. But, so effectively, you can make giant pillars into the sky out of water. It's not good, but it's weird. It feels similar to Aether Architect from 1E, where you can just create structures out of walls of force. And that is by far the coolest wild talent. I will not be accepting criticism. It's terrible for combat, because obviously it takes 10 minutes to do, but it's very cool. It's the sole reason why my current Aether Kineticist that I'm playing is putting max ranks in knowledge engineering. So maybe that campaign will actually get to a level where I can take Aether. Oh god, what is it? The cool wall of force thing. If I can actually get that, I would be ecstatic, although I'm not expecting that character to live that long, because yeah, I play risky as fuck. I play risky as fuck in everything that I do. Hey kid, wanna play with some fire? It'd be so much easier if I had a torch. Yeah. I'm gonna think of like other 1E stuff that I would want to be converted over. Honestly, I feel like I've talked already in the stream about most of the stuff from 1E that I would really want. A lot of stuff from 1E could be brought over just as archetypes. I think I feel like the way that I would put the 1E Kineticist is the you could almost flavor burn as melatonin, because boy can you knock yourself the fuck out. It was kind of a thing for a while whenever because we're playing an AP in 1E and I'm playing a Aether Kineticist, and our only form of real consistent healing was me with Kinetic Healer, and it just kind of became a running joke that we would always leave the burned down prison that we were investigating with my character unconscious, because I would knock myself out with burn. But that character has been fun because I've been rolling for health because it's fun. It's not good, but it's fun. It's better to just take the average. And I've been rolling insanely well, so I've like I have a horrific amount of health for a level 5 character on a D8 hit dice class. It's amazing. It also sucks because the only other person who's rolling for health has been rolling terribly. Oh, I haven't seen your message, but I will be checking it out. I don't actually check the email that I have associated, or anything that I have associated remotely with this account all that much, because I forget that it exists. Like, Yeah, I am just a very forgetful person, so thank you for pointing that out. I will look into it. Whenever I am not trying to multitask and come up with, like, how would these 7 other classes from Pathfinder 1 work? And... oh, do I have to go and talk to Impa again? Oh, can't wait to turn off the Sheikah sensor. Come on. Why can't I skip this cutscene? I was planning to get at least a couple of the memories done today. Do I think that I can go... I can't remember if I have to... oh, okay. Forgot that there's a tutorial for the camera operation on the Sheikah slate. Also, I don't know why this just popped into my head. However, I'd like to imagine that Pura actually talked that fast. There's a torch in here. Fuck! There was a torch up here. Yeah, I do want to see more original classes. Like, as much as it's like, oh, I really want to see the Shaman and the Shifter. If I only got one of them, but I got a original primal class, I would be happy. Like, I would be happy to give up on the Shifter or give up on the Shaman in exchange for getting a original class. Part of that is probably because I also play 1E, so it's like if I really want to play a Shifter, I can just play 1E. But I just like seeing original stuff. Although it is entirely possible for them to adapt like the Shaman in such a way that it feels original because it's entirely different. Oh, can I make it? Damn! I was hoping that I could slide on old Valoros's back. Oh, do I have enough stamina to get the royal steed yet? Because that is the most consistent horse that I can get and actually put this armor on. So they're consistently available. Come on. I think do I still need to talk to Impa? Yep, I think I need to talk to Impa to actually start picking up memories. And yeah, I've seen you post stuff in the subreddit. Yeah, 1E Witch was an experience. I have never played a 1E Witch. But I've GM'd for a 1E Witch, and that was an experience. So many goblins failed their will saves against Slumber. So many goblins died. Yeah, 1E Witch, if there is ever a, yeah, Slumber was pretty OP. But the more OP but more time intensive combo was Evil Eye save decrease cackle next turn, Misfortune cackle. I believe that was the combo that a lot of people went for. Or yeah, Evil Eye it was Evil Eye Misfortune combo or cackle combo. And then once you have your core kit going with your hexes, then you grab Flight ASAP because, yeah, the fly spell for a number of minutes equal to your level, and at will Featherfall, and I think Levitate also. Oh, 1E Witch was so good. And then you fought like, and then you would fight like 4 things at the same time. And it's like, well, I don't have enough standard actions to debuff all of them into the dirt. Yeah. If there's ever, and I hope that there is, if they ever make a Pathfinder 2e Unchained, currently the only classes that I can think of putting in there are the Witch and the Alchemist, and I honestly don't think that the Alchemist needs a huge amount. I just think it needs some proficiency changes. And maybe it's more accurate to say, I cannot say whether what changes the 2e Alchemist needs until I see what they're putting out for alchemical items in the treasure vault. Because who knows, maybe whenever they release the alchemical flamethrower, things will get better for the alchemist. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Although one thing that if I ever GM for a 2e game, in like a home game, I wouldn't be doing this. I probably wouldn't do this if I were like streaming or something, but the one change that I feel like is almost mandated for alchemists, for all alchemists, is to automatically give them scaling proficiency in crafting. Because the inventors have it. Level 3, all inventors are experts in crafting and they don't have to invest a skill increase into it. And alchemists have to. That sucks. Yeah, if you put a comment, I'll definitely remember it, but yeah, I will definitely be commenting that. Why didn't I do this before Hester left? Oh, that would have been very convenient. Incredibly easy Korok. Yeah, I think the treasure vault will help out the alchemist a lot, but I don't think it's going to help with one of the core problems, I think, with the alchemist class, which is that to play an alchemist really effectively, you have to kind of know every single alchemical item like the back of your hand, which is fun. Oh, I had a yeah, like, I don't think it's acceptable for the alchemist to not have scaling crafting proficiency. But I think that the alchemist can work. You just have to have, like, all of your formula ingrained into your head for quick alchemy. Which kind of sucks because that's not something that a lot of players want to do. Which means that the alchemist is an incredibly difficult class for new players to play and really get the most out of. Yeah, like, there are also what I feel like the Churgeon really needs is, because I would go so far as to say that the Churgeon or Surgeon, someone pointed out this in one of my other streams, that Churgeon is actually just pronounced surgeon. It's just an old-timey spelling of the word surgeon, but I'm imagining that if you give alchemists scaling, like, consistent crafting proficiency as they level up, I would also go so far as to say that you should give surgeon alchemists the ability to grab medicine feats with their crafting proficiency and just use crafting for medicine. That would be incredibly powerful. But god damn it, that subclass needs it. Although I will say that well, I've played with two different alchemists. Kind of. one was a poisoner alchemist that eventually ended up kind of retraining into being a bomber alchemist, where they were a bit more happy. Also, let's actually check and see which... Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to remember the order of the memories that I'm gonna go in. Virgin? Yeah, all I know is that I'm always going to pronounce it differently every single time. But the other alchemist that I've played with is an investigator who is taking the alchemist multi-class archetype with free archetype, and they basically use their alchemist abilities to fuel their alchemical crossbow. Yes, the problem with the poison alchemist is the fact that the AP we're in, we fight a shit ton of undead constructs and oozes and outsiders that are immune to poison. So that sucks. The fact that everything is... not everything. The fact that it is incredibly easy to run across poison resistance or just straight up immunity sucks whenever you focus on it. But the investigator just hands out anti-plagues to every single member of the party every day, and then makes a bunch of bombs to fuel their alchemical crossbow, and that's their use of their alchemist ability. And it's pretty effective. That campaign, which is a different campaign, has a bunch of diseases in it. Far more than I was ever anticipating, so just handing out anti-plagues is actually, like, shockingly effective. Yes, it really does need a kineticist, like, oh, well, thing is, you're immune to poison, but my poison is made to not attack, like, your immune system or your cells or anything. It's designed to attack your poison immunity. It needs a good old 1E fire kineticist burning away someone's fire resistance, because your fire is so hot it burns fire resistance. It needs that. Honestly, I know that this is in no way how it's ever going to work, because this is completely antithetical to how the alchemist works. But like a thaumaturge style, like, mix up of poison on the fly for an individual creature would be cool. Yeah, I think the other thing that alchemists need is just like a wider array of healing items. So it's like you can get access to them at more levels. Alignment poisons could be really cool, actually. I'm not a huge fan of alignment, but alignment poisons sounds cool. Yeah, oh, this is it's this Korok, right? I actually think that my least favorite enemy type in Breath of the Wild are Octoroks. They're just annoying. Yeah, I like to imagine, like, I'm going to be playing a thaumaturge in the next campaign that I'm in. And I am looking forward and also simultaneously, like, trying to imagine how the fuck am I going to be, like, RPing all of the exploit vulnerabilities? And, like, okay, how am I gonna be explaining how I'm doing fire damage? Or electricity damage or something with my sword? Because I'm gonna be playing Outlaws of Alkenstar, and I'm gonna be trying to theme my, my thaumaturge less around, like, esoteric knowledge and all that, and going more like folk tales and, basically less weird magic stuff and more just like weird leaps of logic. I'm entirely intending to like start whipping out a fucking color wheel for like color theory. So like, oh, my sword is red, therefore you associate it with being more aggressive and damaging. Like, I'm expecting to do that kind of stuff, but then how am I gonna explain, like, yeah, I need to do good damage. Yeah, like, I feel like a little bit of rant, which is a continuation of the 1 hour and like 42-minute stream, which is just basically me rambling. But I love the design of the thaumaturge so much, it might be one of my favorite designed classes in the entire game. Because, like, the shifter, I feel you'd basically just be a primal themed, like, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, get out of the ground. Like, the shifter, easy. You just take the thaumaturge, and instead of implements, you get, aspects of different creatures, and then whenever you're in that form, you get different benefits based on, like, what aspect you have. It's just really... It just makes sense. Which is as about of a large, compliment as I can give to any, like, piece of game design. If it just makes sense, that's a very, very good sign. Yeah, like, I am entirely expecting to, like, say, like, oh, we're fighting someone that looks really, really goth. Okay, bright colors on the sword it is. Let's see if I have this memorized. I think I have it memorized. I don't know why she doesn't react to the choo-choo. Yeah, I've said this many times on this channel, but I am very much a martial person. As in, the closest into I've ever gotten to playing a spellcaster is a magus. Which means that I prepared a lot of blast spells and true strikes. Oh, fuck waiting this long. So, like, I really do like the Psychic's design, and I do think that Psychic is probably my favorite designed, my favorite designed spellcaster, because I'm terrible at managing resources, so if I can avoid having to try and manage a resource, I will. And I can manage focus spells a lot better than I can manage spell slots. So, That's part of the reason why I'm really optimistic about the Kineticist, is because you don't have to manage shit. Or rather, you have to manage stuff within a combat, but not outside of that. Ah. Ooh. Yeah, I'm really happy with how 2E has done martials, because it feels like they took the crazy stuff from Pathfinder 1E and said, let's make that the standard. So you have, like, let's take, I don't know, probably one of my favorite feats from Pathfinder 1st edition. That being, oh, well, I think that was a quick teleport out. Yeah, I think I have a Korok leaf, right? Nope. Doing this the hard way. Oh, there's a chest here? Oh, yeah, the Swashbuckler is probably one of my favorite classes. Although that might be a little bit biased, because I am currently playing a level 20 Swashbuckler, and oh my god, that is a power trip. Because yeah, so yeah, playing a level 20 gymnast swashbuckler with the wrestler archetype is a joy to behold, and my GM's worst nightmare. Because it's kind of hard to have like a climactic boss fight when the when the 4-foot-tall bird person runs up and suplexes the boss into the ground and stops them from moving. And but it's very fun. I would honestly kind of argue that I'm kind of, I don't know. You need very particular swashbuckler feats to make the swashbuckler feel super crazy. Or not super crazy, more distinct from a traditional martial. To make them feel different from a rogue or a fighter or something. But boy, once you start getting some really, really good finishers, it's all over. For anything that you're fighting. Yeah, Battle Dancer is really fun. I just haven't gone around to playing one. In one 1E game that I'm in, I've played a swashbuckler from levels 1 to 20, and then in another 1E, or 2E game that, I meant to say 2E, but in another 2E game that I'm in, I have played 3 characters, because I keep on dying. Yeah, I love how they did Panache. As much as I really enjoyed, like, I think that Panache and 1E was their best point system. Like, I think Panache is better than Key or Arcane, or the Arcane pool or whatever. I just think it's better because it's more reactive and it's a smaller pool, but it's more likely to change. It's just fun. But Panache is just, in 2E is straightforward. It's, oh, you do something cool, therefore you can do more stuff that is cool. Come on. How is this not close enough? If only I was actually, like, good at Breath of the Wild and I could do wind bombs. I think you can clear this shrine in about 3 seconds. I mean, grit and panache are the same thing, except one was wisdom and one was charisma. Let's be real here. The only difference was, and I mean, admittedly this was a big difference, is that swashbucklers in 1E were able to use 18 to 20 crit range weapons, which makes them a lot better at getting back panache than your average basically, swashbucklers were just way better at recovering. Come on. I can never get this shrine to... Like, this shrine is really easy. And I can never get it to do what I want. Yeah. Basically... I feel like swashbucklers were able to play around with panache much more than gunslingers were able to play around with grit. But good God, 1E gunslingers. Good Lord. Yeah, I'll full attack someone 4 times in 1 round. Dexterity to damage on a ranged attack against touch AC. And if I crit, God help their soul. For a 4 times crit weapon, baby. 1A gunslingers are crazy, especially in campaigns where you're fighting a bunch of enemies that have a low touch AC. Like if you're fighting a bunch of ghosts, then guns aren't as good, or if you're fighting a bunch of fae, guns aren't as good. But if you're fighting a bunch of giants, or just characters that don't have a very good dexterity modifier. Oh, yeah, no, there are so many creatures in 1E where it's like 35 regular AC, 9 touch. Oh, yeah, 1E Cavalier was an experience. Like, when a 1E Cavalier worked, they turned everything that they were fighting into fucking dust. Unfortunately, 1E was in a... Oh, okay. 43 Korok Seeds. Bows. Yeah. The only problem with Cavaliers in 1E is, especially if you were playing adventure paths, is that 1E very much liked small rooms. Paizo's gotten a bit better about that with 2E, but there are still some instances, because like again, I'm in like chapter 3 of book 6 in an AP, so like I'm at the very end of one. And we'll still walk into a room and it's like, okay, so it's like 40 feet by 40 feet, and there are 5 large-sized creatures, and then the entire party in the room. Why do I keep on de-equipping my bow? So it's like, oh, 1A Cavalier, oh, you got these insane charge attacks, you can do so much damage. If only I could ride my horse. I am 100% gonna have to kill a guardian while I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way that they've changed up the way they do maps in 2E. It feels a lot better to actually have room to maneuver. Also, oh, okay, this is a pretty minor source book that I'm actually expecting to be a Lost Omens book. Oh, yeah, no. Giant monitored lizard does not like doors. uh, but I'm. Oh, that's where I'm trying to go. I'm gonna have to kill this guardian. Let's try and avoid him if we can. But what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, this is a source book that I would really want. I'm not expecting it to be a core rulebook. I'm not expecting it to have classes. But I do want to see like a Lost Omens Tianjia. And that would have effectively, I'm expecting these to be archetypes for the samurai and the ninja from 1E. Because let's be real here. How many people who play Pathfinder are also simultaneously weebs? I bet the number's a lot. Especially if you have a way to flavor it so they aren't just like completely out of place in the inner sea. Yeah, Ultimate Intrigue would be fun. Like, I just, I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff in 1E that I don't think I'll ever get a chance to play, and now I'm playing more 2E than 1E, so I'm like, well, if they could just convert over my favorite things from 1E, that would be nice. I never got to play a shuriken-focused, a ninja that focuses on shuriken, which would just be a lot of fun, and unfortunately, I just haven't had a chance to do it. Oh, Warlock for Vigilante was really cool. Ah, that was sick. Although I am very pleased with the adjustment to making Vigilante an archetype. I think that works really well.
She's making it sound like we already lost.
Wasn't this your idea? You're the one who wanted to designate the appointed knight with all the ceremonial pomp, grandeur, and nonsense we could muster. And if you ask me, the whole thing does seem to be overkill. I think I'm on the same page as the princess regarding this boy.
Oh, give it a rest. That boy
Yeah, Warlock was just sick.
Well,
yeah, Vigilante really needed it. Vigilante was a mess in 1E. But it was a fun mess. Vigilante was kind of in a similar place as the Kineticist, where it was like, oh, this is a fucking, like, mistake, and I love it. Also, I love how Link always has, like, these flashbacks, and then his reaction is just like, yep, let's put the Sheikah Slate in its holster. No reaction. Yeah, like, okay, oh, you wanna play a Vigilante that rages? Archetype. Oh, you wanna play a Vigilante that's a spellcaster? Archetype. With now it's just, oh, there is a Vigilante archetype that gives you the basic Vigilante abilities. Yeah, I feel like to me it almost feels like, I mean, obviously there are elements of the first edition Slayer that aren't possible to be represented in the 2E Ranger, but it feels like they kind of just filed off the serial numbers of the 1E Slayer and said, yeah, this is a Ranger. Although there is one particular archetype. Oh, well, time to kill. Hopefully. By the way, I can't hear any of the audio from the game, so I have no audio cues, which is terrible. I normally rely on audio cues for deflecting the lasers. um, like, I'm normally pretty good at that, but I do. Oh, let's redeem myself. So an archetype. If you could please stop moving, that would be appreciated. I do have the Master Sword. I can just kill this guy. I think I can just kill this guy. I've killed way more Guardians by deflecting their lasers than I have ever killed Guardians by cutting off legs. Come on, let me hit the leg. Yeah, I don't miss the 1E Monk or Ranger. No, 1E Ranger could be very fun in specific campaigns where you know you are just going to be fighting one enemy type. Like, if you're going to be playing Wrath of the Righteous, and you play a Ranger and you put everything into killing the bejesus out of demons, oh, that's fun. However, it sucks if you're ever doing anything that does not directly involve killing demons. What was it? Oh yeah, let's eat a snail. Link is braver than me. Oh, but an archetype that is never going to see the light of day in 2E. That I love from 1E. It's not very good. Oh yeah, Original Barbarian, do you not want to kill your character the instant that you go below 0 hit points? And, like, oops, I guess that I'm at negative 70 health. Guess I'll die. But, what was I? Oh yeah, but an archetype that I loved from 1E that it wasn't great, but it's never gonna see the light of day in 2E, even if they do make the Mesmerist, is the Enigma Mesmerist, which their whole thing was making Mesmerist stare no longer reduce will saves. Instead, whenever you stare at someone, you fade from their view, so you become invisible over the course of one round, and you're only concealed for that first round, but eventually it becomes greater, or yeah, greater invisibility, because this is Pathfinder 1E. So you can basically stare at someone and then fade from their line of sight, and you also got sneak attack. So you just stare at someone, then fade out of their reality, and just start stabbing the bejesus out of them. It was great. Not actually great, because you're still a 2/3 spellcaster, and the spell list for wait a minute, what is this? Oh, it looked like the grass was burned around that tree. But, yeah, so, basically the spell list for the Mesmerist was all about, illusions and things that require will saves. And it was kind of reliant on the fact that you would have, oh, nice. Yeah, like, it was really cool. But the spell list kind of was relying on you to be, hey, Boar, move it. It was relying on your stare to be reducing enemy will saves, so they would actually fail against your save or suck spells. And because you lost that as an Enigma, you didn't have a lot of buff spells to actually make you into a more competent martial character. So it traded off a lot of stuff. I mean, also, who doesn't love the ability to cast, instead of remove curse, I think you got bestow curse a bunch of times a day. When he just had a bunch of crazy bullshit that I loved. Or love. I'm
From
currently
here, we'll
playing
make
in a
our way
1E
to
game.
Goron City. Then we'll need some adjustments on that divine beast so Daru can manage it as easily as possible. He's figured out how to get it to move. However, it's apparent that we still have much more to learn.
I probably only have like maybe
By people.
20-ish minutes left in me. Because I did not sleep well last night. Just letting you guys know.
Beasts. So much we don't know. But if we want to turn back Calamity Ganon, they're our best hope. Tell me the truth. How proficient are you right now wielding that sword?
Yeah, I
on your back?
probably only got like
Legend says that an ancient voice resonates inside
Uh,
it. Can
let's
you hear
see.
it yet?
I probably normally get like 7.5 hours of sleep because I normally fall asleep like I have a internal timer where I just pass the fuck out. Doesn't matter what's going on, I will fall asleep. But due to the situation that I'm currently in, yeah, no, got like 5. Which is fun. Also, where the hell am I going? Oh, okay. Let's head over to... Oh, what is that stable called? Coliseum stable? I forget its name. But regardless, I'll try and... I've got some stuff for some stamina food. Let's try and get a better horse than Valorous. Because Valorous is okay, but Valorous does not have much stamina or speed. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in 1E that, like, I would love to see ported over to 2E. There's also a lot of really cool stuff from Starfinder that I would love to see ported over to 1E, or to 2E, because... Oh. Let me... I don't need that. I have these all memorized. Yeah, that is actually something that I, like, thought about before I started making videos, was, like, huh. Like, because at the time, whenever I started making videos, I'd only watched Nonat stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. Nonat definitely hasn't played 1E before. So I can come at it from a perspective of someone who came from a much rules-heavier system. That is convoluted and messy as fuck. To the relatively pristine system that is, that is Pathfinder 2E. I really want to see Black Blades. Now, in particular, I don't want to see a Black Blade Magus. I just want to see a way to bond with a intelligent magical item. And then I want that to be an archetype, where you can just interact with a magical intelligent item, and then you don't need to interact remotely. Can you do... Oh, that was terrible. I just want Blackblade Magus to be a general archetype that every character can get. Because I want everyone to be able to have a cool magic item that yells at them for doing things wrong. Oh, that's right, I don't actually have to use arrows. If I can aim. Come on. This should work, right? It's just a projectile. Oh well. I can get the arrows back from this. Yeah, like there are, like, Blackblade Magus is, I think, the best example I can give of an archetype in 1E that a lot of people want, because everyone who I feel like every single person who talked about or has seen online discussion about the Pathfinder 1E Magus knows how popular the Blackblade Magus was. So obviously people are gonna want it. But I feel like that is an archetype that would best be it would best be implemented as a general archetype that every single class can take, because 2E isn't limited like 1E, wherein particular abilities are restricted to particular classes. What makes a Blackblade Magus special is, one, the blade automatically scaled with enhancement bonuses to its attack and damage. I'm assuming that would not be a thing in 2E, because giving a free potency and striking rune would be nuts. And they didn't give it to the soulbound, any character with the soulbound archetype. So they're not going to be given that for free. But it was predominantly, what's the right way to put it? The blade had its own abilities that it could use. It had its own pool of, like, a resource that you could use for special abilities. Oh. What? How would I explain it? Like, yeah, it's basically that it did, that you just interacted with it differently. But, how the fuck am I gonna do that? I can never remember how you're actually supposed to do this shrine. But, damn it. I can never remember this. Yeah, it was effectively, imagine a Magus that had an Eidolon, and then they hit someone with the Eidolon. Which I guess isn't, like, entirely accurate, because it might be more accurate to describe whatever I think it was an ectoplasmist, spiritualist. That's maybe a bit more of an apt description, but it's kinda like that, where you were very focused on creating a, of like, okay, well, if my Blackblade has a particular amount of arcane pool points, then it has particular abilities, but I can take the arcane pool points out to power my own abilities. I can call it to me from any location. It's basically a soulbound weapon, but it is someone else and it will yell at you. And yeah, it would almost assuredly eventually be smarter than you and also more charismatic than you. Which is fun. I'm actually pulling up the archetype now on my other monitor. So, Magus archetype, blade bound. Actually, yeah, it almost assuredly would eventually be more charismatic than you, because it eventually got a 15 charisma, which is higher than most Maguses would get. Because 1E ability scores, baby. You don't have much to go around. Yeah, the thing is, it had the same archetype as you, but it had its own agenda that the GM decided. And it has its own ego, so you kind of had to work together with the Blackblade to get it to work. The way that I would imagine Black Blade or Blade-bound archetype in 2e Tour, that would be for everyone, not just Magus's, would be I imagine that it would be something where I imagine it would have a feat that you could take that would give you the ability where it drinks the life force of people that you hit. So it's like once a minute you make a strike. On a hit, it has a particular effect and buffs up the weapon. On a crit, it's a bigger effect. But then it would also have, this would probably be a basic ability of the dedication or lowish level feat, where you could give it your own like vital essence to power it up. I just think that'd be fun. Also, I just want more, yeah, every single Magus used a Faust and a Scimitar or a Rapier. What am I doing? Oh, Stamina Restoration. Yeah, it is pretty much like Seth, and I'm forgetting the name of the sword now, and that is bothering me. I am currently working my way through the rest of the Cosmere before I get to Zeth. Oh, it's not that, is it? It's... Oh, it's been too long since I've read Stormlight. Way too long. I'm forgetting his name. Because I think it might be like Szeth. I know that at the beginning of the first, like the literal first chapter, or first sentence of Epilogue 2, or not Epilogue, Prologue 2, because Stormlight Archives is crazy like that, is Seth Sanvano, Truthess of Shinovar, wore white on the day he wore white on the day he worked to kill a king, I think is the first, okay. It is S. It is Zeth with an S at the beginning instead of a Z. It is confusing. Also, no spoilers because I haven't read Rhythm of War yet. Yeah, I'm working. I very, very good books if you enjoy fantasy. I cannot recommend them enough. Let's get ourselves a better horse. I think they're over this next hill. I think I'll... Yep, there they are. Yeah, it is very good. Okay. Here we go. And... Oh, are you kidding me? I didn't need to eat that. I can never remember how many, how much it takes to tame this horse. Yeah. Magus was, like, the crit fishing class, although I would argue that, Swashbucklers also... Swashbucklers were weird, because they also fished for crits to get panache, but not for damage, because, Precise Strike was also their primary source of damage. And that's precision damage equal to their level. So long as they have at least one source of panache. But, so, like, they wanted as much panache as they could get also, or as many crits as they could get, but not for damage, but for a different reason. Butterfly's Sting is so good on, it's so tasty on a Swashbuckler or a Rogue, because both have, I cannot wait until this horse is actually behaving. Yeah. Also, I just need to put this out here into the world because I feel like it's important. But, in Pathfinder 1E, this horse, please stop trying to run off of a bridge. I just need to say that I need to thank whoever is responsible for making the Flying Blade archetype for the Pathfinder 1E Swashbuckler, because what the hell were they doing? I love it, but that was a brave couple of decisions that they made to make the throwing weapon Swashbuckler just as good in melee as a normal Swashbuckler, except they have to use a dagger instead, so they don't have quite the same crit range. But being... The main thing is, I think it's disrupting counter? Disrupting parry, actually? Oh, I just remembered. That I should probably come up with an iconic to name this after. And if you heard me typing just now, you know why I don't type a lot whenever I'm playing games, because God, my keyboard's loud. Who's the iconic cavalier? Or no, I thought of a better name. Not an iconic. Still Pathfinder. I think this might fit. Excellent. Yes. Rovagug is ready to ride. And I should probably finish this quest that I totally didn't know about. Totally, definitely didn't know about. Oh yeah, but the Flying Blade archetype, what it like, disrupting counter was someone makes an attack against you, so you make an attack of opportunity against them at the cost of 1 panache. If you hit, they take a -4 penalty on their attack rolls until the end of their turn. The problem with that is that you do damage as a normal AOO, when normally swashbucklers were limited to counter-attacking like that. I don't know if the horse is gonna, Rovagug is gonna like me enough yet. I might have to run around and increase how much they like me. But disrupting counter... Okay. Let me just move around a bit and spam pet. And eventually they're gonna like me enough. So... Oh yeah, but disrupting counter was basically something where, like, if you had 4 panache to spend or something, and someone attacked you, like, you had 4 panache, and someone was going to attack you, I don't know, 3 times. You can spend 3 panache to attack them 3 times with full MAP, and each time you hit, or not MAP, this is first edition, so BAB, so full BAB, attacks of opportunity, and each time you hit, you give them a penalty on their attack rolls. It was just stupid, and I loved it. That was probably the most fun I've ever had with a Pathfinder 1E character, was just the invincible bird that threw themselves at people and counterattacked them, like, made more attacks off their turn than on their turn. 2E removed a lot of the incredibly stupid bullshit that 1E had, but at the same time it's sad because they removed a bunch of the really stupid bullshit that you could do. And boy, stupid bullshit is fun so long as you're the one doing it. Well, you're acting like people make it to level 20. You don't do that in 1E. Now, please tell me that this is enough. Okay, excellent. Now, saddle... I know we just got this cool royal saddle, but I prefer teleporting. So I actually remember to use the horse. Oh, the Arcanist was fun. Arcanist, also known as basically D&D 5e wizard, where they prepare... oh yeah, no. You either play through levels 1 to 15 and 1 to 15 or 1 to 17 for APs and Pathfinder 1e, or you play like level 25 characters that fight God. Yeah. Rovagug is definitely a bit faster than Valoros. I don't think Valoros would win in a fight against Rovagug. Hot take. Gotta love it how the mane clips through Link's face. Yeah. I feel like whenever Paizo announces their next rulebook, and if it is going to be converting anything from Pathfinder 1e over to 2e, I think I'm gonna be happy. Like, no matter what it is that they're converting, because I'm gonna be happy with anything. There's a lot of really cool shit in 1e. Even if it isn't the top thing on my list, it's still on there. And I know that I'm getting all the memories. And that there's a memory right up there at the top of that horse statue. Or right in front of that horse statue, rather. But I'm getting all the memories in, like, chronological order. So, that horse statue has to wait until, it's number 10 in the list, I think. Yes, I can in fact count to 10. Had to double check that right there. I just prefer doing it in that order, and then also getting the Divine Beasts in the order in which the memories take me around the map. And part of that reason is because it takes me to clear Vomido and get Rivali's Gale first. That's fun. Maybe not the Seducer Witch. Maybe we can pass on the Seducer Witch. I doubt that they're gonna bring over that one. Sorry, Cass, that I'm ignoring you, but I do need to do this. Also, I feel like there's a Blood Moon coming up. It would fit for the amount of time that I've spent, I think. There. Dang. Are you kidding me? I don't want to shoot bomb arrows for this, so I've got to run over, grab my fucking arrows, and shoot from this side? Wait a minute. Did my arrows break? Fuck, that means I do actually have to use ice arrows. I need to get arrows. Like, desperately. Yeah, let's shoot here. That's easier. Hey. No, earlier, whenever I was going through the shrine at Hateno, I said, oh, I think there's a bow in there that's easier at, like, sniping things and it zooms in more. I was like, I don't need that. I think it was a golden bow, maybe? I was like, oh, I don't need that. Would have been useful for this shrine. And I don't actually recognize that. So while I am running over here, I'm going to be looking that up. Arcanium. Hmm. Oh. Oh, okay. I'm looking at this stat block. Yeah, it seems pretty fair. Pretty reasonable. You know, like every mythic rank 10 creature is pretty reasonable. Yeah, looking over this, I might have seen worse 1E creatures before. Oh, I just saw the names of the special qualities. I don't like that. Yikes. And voila. Oh. Oh. You know, sometimes shrines are a little bit straightforward. Oh, I overshot it a bit. Oh, lovely. Looking at these a bit. Yeah, those are some. Those are in fact some abilities. Jesus. Was this official Paizo? This was official Paizo. Jesus. I am surprised that this was something that Paizo put out. You know, with an ability called invert birth, impregnate surrogate, gestation aura. I'm surprised that that was official Paizo. Yeah. I mean, 2013 Paizo. But damn. Although, I will say that if there's one insanely overpowered stat block, yeah, but Seducer Witch is a bit more, like, as fucked. Yeah. They're better now about that stuff, about not including it. I mean, the good news is that, the creature that we're talking about is neutral evil. So they're not trying to portray them as a good guy. Yeah, but Paizo's gotten better over the years for that kind of stuff. I'm just happy that the hypnotism spell no longer exists. Because that one was a first level spell with major moral repercussions. Yeah, Paizo was wild. I didn't know the extreme that they were wild, but yeah, they were wild. Let's see. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say, if there is like one absurdly overpowered stat block that I do want to see, like statted out in 2E, that I'm not expecting any party to ever actually beat, it's Akakek. I want to see Akakek's stat block. Because if his major curse that he can give a character is he rips a hole in reality to your location and instantly kills you, then, or rips a hole in reality, then fights and kills you. I want to see the stat block to know exactly how my character dies for pissing off the Mantis God. And yeah, I feel like Enchantment has some real kind of suspicious kind of propaganda going on where people actually think that it's worse than or better than necromancy when it isn't. Enchantment's fucked. Hypnotism, yeah. I don't actually know how early. Hypnotism. So just so you know, trying to pilot a horse in Breath of the Wild while also trying to type out and look up Pathfinder 1A rules is fun. Well, the thing about hypnotism was it was a core rulebook spell, and it was basically Charm Person, where you make someone think that one specific request is a good idea. Actually, let me... No Blood Moon. We're pretty close to the Blood Moon Shrine. That's a pain in the ass to do. Like, I have somehow managed to beat this game multiple times while completing every single, well, getting every single, shrine while not fast traveling, and I've somehow managed to get that Blood Moon Shrine multiple times just by thinking, yeah, it's about time for a Blood Moon, isn't it? And then just riding over here and getting it exactly. I never believed in magic more than those moments. But Hypnotism was basically a spell where you could cast it on someone if they failed their will save. It did have a hit die limitation, but that didn't matter for commoners. You then make them think that one thing is a good idea permanently. Well, the thing about Hypnotism is that it lasts forever. That was the problem. While the subject is fascinated by the spell, it reacts as if it were 2 steps more friendly in attitude. This allows you to make a single request of the affected creature, provided that you can communicate with it. The request must be brief and reasonable. Even after the spell ends, the creature retains its new attitude towards you, but only in respect to that particular request. The problem is, of course, that you are a, it's a first level spell and you can spam this on someone, which is where it gets problematic. Yeah, let's waste some ice arrows on this. Come on. Why am I having so much trouble getting up my dang bow? I'm forgetting, but there might be arrows in that chest, so I'm gonna check it out. Because God, I would like to not waste special arrows. I think it's like an 8th level spell in 2E. There's no way it should be as low level as it is in 1E. Yeah, like, Paizo's gotten a lot better at removing the possibility for people to do a lot of really fucked up stuff. Which is good. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to... Yeah, this is gonna be overkill. And bomb arrow. Yeah, I think the only, like, remote equivalent in 1E to Hypnotism is, like, maybe subconscious suggestion. But also there's... Yeah. Yeah, I am a lot more comfortable with Tui enchantment, but I also at some point kind of want to play like someone who basically uses like I just want to play a character that casts heroism, but they flavor it as like a big pep talk that gives you with like an endorphin high. Yeah. I'm forgetting her name, but they did. Was it Sorshin? That was the Rune Lord of Lust. If I'm remembering correctly, her characterization was actually pretty good. Because Paizo kind of realized that they are a company that is not just publishing for their own stuff anymore, and maybe that they should actually try and be socially conscious. Oh, Fabricate Truth. Yeah. I love the idea of a, oh, I didn't know that she was tied to Nocticula's redemption. That's actually sick. Nocticula, not Nocticula. Yeah. Paizo got better over the years. Thank fuck. Yeah. What am I thinking? Oh, yeah. I love the idea of, like, inquisitors of unconventional deities to have inquisitors. Like, what is exactly an inquisitor of Cayden Cailean? Or, my personal favorite, what is the inquisitor of Shaylin? So, an inquisitor of love. There's just a lot of fun stuff that you can do, but you gotta talk with your table first. Although I did once play in a party in 1E that had a paladin of Shillin that was hilarious because they were basically just like the most encouraging wing woman that you could possibly ask for. It was great. Okay, so she was working in Nocticula. Oh, okay, that's actually really cool. Of probably taking some of the characterization that was written for Rise of the Rune Lords and saying, hey, yeah, she's not like that now. Oh, that's... Oh. Oh, that... Oh, that's nice. And, one last memory, and then, after I, get this memory and then the shrine, which if I'm remembering correctly, this might be actually a tough one. I think that this shrine does a major test of strength, maybe a moderate. Then that's what I'm gonna have to call it for this stream. Because I, shockingly, in a unusual development, I need food and sustenance. So I will be needing to go after this shrine. But yeah, I'm not actually that familiar with Return or Riot. No, I'm very familiar with Return of the Rune Lords because I've prepared to I've prepped the entire campaign, but I'm not that familiar with Return of the Rune Lords, and New Thassalon, but that is sick.
Nothing. Just as I thought. It appears that this structure was designed to be exclusively accessed by the Sword's chosen.
Yeah, no, this has been a really fun stream. I have not had...
Can always be worked around.
This has been fun chat and shit.
How do I get inside? I need to activate it
all the
somehow.
crazy stuff in 1E, how it might convert to 2E, and all the stuff that we don't want converted from 1E.
I thought I made it clear that I'm not in need of an escort.
Yeah, I'm forgetting.
It seems I'm the only one with a mind of my
Sorshan
own.
the
I, the person
only...
in question, am fine.
Or was Sorshan an
regardless of the
original
king's
Rune Lord?
orders.
I think she was, right?
Return to the castle and tell that to my father, please.
No, I think that there were 2 original Rune Lords who lasted the entirety of Thassalon's lifespan, right? I'm forgetting their name, but I think they were the Rune Lord
And
of
stop following me!
Pride, I think? I'm forgetting if they were an original Rune Lord that lasted the entire time. I only really know, like, 4 Rune Lords. Sorry, I only really know 4 Rune Lords in detail. In detail. Detail in very loose quotation marks. That obviously being Karzug, because Karzug, Sorshan and Pride. I just remember that he is the Rune Lord of Pride, and he's been around for a very, very long time and is very intimidating. Like, I think I saw their levels, and I think he might have been the only one that was level 20. And then oh, how am I forgetting her name? Major Chest of Strength. This will be fun. I am not remotely equipped for this. But the Rune Lord of Wrath. I'm forgetting her name. I'm thinking of important A names from other adventure paths that are not remotely correct. I don't actually know if I have the gear for this, but we'll see. Xandergul. Okay. Sounds like a Pathfinder name. It's crazy enough. Yes. I should say, it has been like no, not a year. It's been like 3 years since I prepared to prep Rise of the Time Lords. Yeah, by the way, the 2 names that I was thinking of were Erasni and Arlisant. So, as Alisnist, all I know is that she is shown off pretty early on in Rise of the Worlds, even though she isn't hugely important in that AP, which I'm happy talking about because it's almost been 20 years. So, and also very good adventure path, so long as you're okay with a couple of horror elements. Yeah, I really like Rune Lords. Although I'm forgetting the lore behind why divination isn't one of the Sen schools. Is it because divination wasn't seen as powerful enough, or was it seen that any wizard worth their salt has got to be using divination, or otherwise they're just pathetic? Because it's gotta be that the second one, right? Because divination before Eridan's death must have been so fucking broken, because that's when prophecy died. So, like, there's no way that any self-respecting, like, wizard wouldn't use divination for literally everything, because scrying would tell you exact details. Oh, shit. Oh. How did I die to that? I mean, obviously it would have, that probably does like 17 hertz worth of damage. But I thought that I had a 1-hit protection on. Maybe it's turned off for these guys. Oh, okay. Oh, so Eridan basically made profit. That makes sense. So they were probably restricted to like detect magic and read magic and stuff. Okay. Also, can I say that Cyclopses are stupid in Pathfinder? Like, yeah, let me just choose to roll a 20. I love it, but what the fuck? Also, I really want an adventure path that focuses on the Cyclops Empire. Because that would be so cool. Like, imagine a Iblidos AP that focuses on the Cyclops Empire. So it's basically an ancient Greece adventure path focusing on, like, yeah, just an ancient Greek AP focusing on an ancient, incredibly powerful Cyclops Empire. How sick would that be? That is honestly one of my top picks for, like, most wanted APs. Come on. Okay, actually, I guess I should clarify. I really want a, I really want a Cyclops Empire AP, and I also really want a Serpent Folk Empire AP. Because the Age of Serpents is an incredibly interesting time period in Galarian's, like, life cycle that we hardly know anything about, and I would love to see more. Because, hell yeah, time before humans existed where a bunch of serpent people ruled the planet? Oh, that would be so cool. Like, I personally want, for like a Cyclops AP, I would want not time magic. I would prefer to have, I prefer to find like the remnants of like a Cyclops Empire or something where there are still people who are alive from that time period, because lifespans are silly things. Rather than traveling back in time, because time is, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of time travel storylines. Oh, okay, I misread that attack. I thought that they were doing a, I'm gonna break my rule. I want to kill this guy and finish the stream. Like, I want like a historical AP, or like, I don't know. That was a crazy ragdoll from that sword. I'm gonna give this another try. And if it doesn't work, no. I can kill this. I can kill this guy. I know it. Well, it wasn't Jason. It wasn't Jason. That was Odysseus that said that, like, nobody is killing me. That was Odysseus, not Jason. I mean, I don't know if I would want. I don't know. Time travel has just never really been my thing. But I don't know. Like, I want to see more like historical information on like what went on with the Cyclops Empire. Oh my god, you could mess with people so much with the Cyclops Empire AP, where it's like, oh, like if it's in modern day, let's say it's in modern day Cyclops AP, you get there, and then like you find ruins or something that contains information on, oh, what is the content? Oh, what is that? The one where literally no one knows anything about it, and the instant that you go there, you lose all your memories of ever being there. I just think that'd be fun. Although, yeah, like, a time travel AP about bouncing around through time would be very cool. And, there's just so much potential in Pathfinder's history. I'm scared of this axe, knowing that if it hits me once, I'm dead. What sword is this? Not a sledgehammer. Um, yeah, I think that it... This might be slight spoilers. Very slight. I think that there's something like taking the past into the present is similar in Return of the Rune Lords. I don't know how it was implemented, but I think there was like a time bubble situation, which honestly could be very cool. To do something like that for the Cyclops. Oh, actually something, you know, there is a way that they could do a cool Cyclops thing without having to like, you go 8,000 years into the past, and then have to deal with a bunch of time paradoxes. The Cyclopses were known for divination magic, right? So they do some crazy ass magic that then they're just like, oh yeah, well, we're just going to go, I don't know, 10,000 years into the future. And then you're dealing with the problem of a Cyclops city just appearing out of nowhere. I think that could be sick. Also, I'm gonna be swapping to a different sword, so I have to add the duality for the final rush before this guy fucking eviscerates me with, lasers. Oh, he's doing it now, isn't he? Nope, 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 nope. I've never fought one of these guys when I have so low damage before, where I can't actually kill them fast enough. Which is why I think I'm having this much trouble with it. I've killed them with 3 hit points, or 3 health before, but not with this few weapons. Okay, this is the moment where I have to blitz him down. Okay. Oh, the Jiska Imperium. God, there's so much cool shit in Galarian's history that I would love to have an entire AP to focus on. Because I don't, like... I'm not expecting, and I don't particularly know if it would be a good fit for, like, a Lost Omens book to cover the Jiska Imperium and all of their history. But it just seems like an AP thing. Like, there are some elements of lore where I think, yes, a Lost Omens book would be amazing. I'd love that. And then there are other ones. Do I want a Night Shield? Probably better than a freaking Boko Shield. It'd be sick. Yeah, I do love how the androids are from space and the automatons, which are fancier, aren't. Wait, what was in there? Knight's Halberd. Oh, I don't want that. I thought it was a Night Shield. Yeah, but there's just so much cool stuff in Galarian that I know that Paizo put in there as little breadcrumbs for GMs who are homebrewing campaigns in the setting of Galarian. So it's like, oh, we're not going to tell you what's going on with the Jiska Imperium, so you can just do that. Oh, it would be sick. Actually, now that I think about it, for like a time cop, AP or standalone Pathfinder adventure, where you go to significant points in Galarian's past to try and fight a bunch of other people who are trying to, like, mess with history. But then it turns out that, like, oh, you were in that history all along. So you go to the Chilaxian Civil War, and, like, what are other huge moments in Galarian history? Like maybe the foundation of the Pathfinder Society, or the Shining Crusade, or other just big moments. So it's like, oh yeah, this is a 3-book AP. Book 1 is the Chalxian Civil War. Book 2 is Shining Crusade. Book 3 hits you out of fucking nowhere. Wanna fight Zin, motherfucker? Or like, okay. I don't. They're never going to tell us how Aridin died. It's never gonna happen. Like, no shot. Come on. So is I by the way never used this. So I have like no idea what the heck or how the heck you use like the camera rune, because I'm boring and I never yeah, no, like I want to see like the crazy stuff that they don't think that they're ever actually going to be able to put out. Like I want to see the homebrew games or like the home games that Paizo staff run, which involves lore information that they're not going to release to the public. Because there's gotta be like some crazy like, oh yeah, remember that time that Jason Bullman ran like ran a game to decide what happened in the final fight of the Chalaxian Civil War? I think you'd have to be higher level than level 20 to kill Aridin. Wait, no, he's a wizard. You just you come in with a level 20 party and you all just start spamming save or die fortitude save effects on him, and he's bound to die. He's a wizard. Or at least I think he was a wizard in life. So he can't have good fort. Okay. Let me check exactly on how the spell works in 2e, and then I'll have to get off because I am very hungry. But okay, so what you do is so for a high level party to kill Aridin, what you do is you play, let's say, first you to figure out whether or not Aridin is immune to death effects. If he is not immune to death effects, then you have 4 wizards kill Aridin by spending 12 actions to cast 12 power word kills. And just do 50 hit points, 50 hit points, 50 hit points, 50 hit points. Eventually he will die. And yeah, meeting like Abigail Thrune. Actually, I feel like I have a bunch of like really out there ideas for like, oh, I want to deal with Nex. I want to figure out what is Nex's deal? Where has he been? Like that, and like Iblados and all these other ideas for weird out there APs. But I think my actual top APA wish is fighting against Abigail Thrune and trying to take down Cheliax. I think that is my actual, like, this is my number 1 wish for an AP, is to, like, kick the shit out of Abigail Thrune. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff in Galarian, and it's just upsetting that I know that I'm never going to be able to play it all. But I am going to have to go. So, I'm glad that you all have been here. Helix is so fucking cool. it is such a good place for committing arson. It feels justified. Hell's, oh yeah, because there's already Hell's Rebels, Hell's Vengeance. What would it be? It'd be like, oh, what? You gotta keep with the R theme. Hell's Retribution. Something like that. It'd just be sick. But, yeah. Thanks y'all for being here. This has been a very fun stream. And, yeah. Until I see you next. Live a wonderful life, and it should definitely be called Hell's Bells.